It was Pope Francis who spoke with Argentinian Weekly. It's called Viva, the magazine. And they were commemorating the anniversary of his early pontificate. And he gave an interview. And in the interview, he offered several tips for finding one of life's most elusive, desired treasures. You know, I'm talking about happiness. And it was an interviewer named Pablo Calvo. He's a friend of the Pope, so I guess the Pope could relax a little bit. And Pope Francis identified 10 tips for finding happiness that involve both personal and community development. And it might not be a simple recipe for personal growth, you know, like some of the preachers will offer, but they offer some insight into the Pope's own values. Anyway, Pope Francis. Number 1, let everyone be themselves. The Romans have a saying which can be taken as a point of reference. They say, campa e lascia campa, which is live and let live. He said that's the first step to peace and happiness. Let everyone be themselves. Live and let live. Not live and let die like the James Bond movie. Number 2, give yourself tirelessly to others. If one gets tired, one runs the risk of being egotistic, and stagnant water is the first to be corrupted. So keep going. Keep moving around. Don't be stagnant. Walk softly. He talks about a book called Don Segundo Sombra. He said there's a beautiful thing. It's a man who looks back on his life, and he says that in his youth he was a rocky stream that carried everything ahead. As an adult, he was a running river. And that in old age, he felt movement, but it was slowed, sort of dammed, like a dam on a river. He said, I would use this image of the poet. The last adjective, remesando, is damned. He said, the ability to move with kindness and humility and the calmness of life. Be available to your kids and family. He says, consumerism has led to the anxiety of losing. He says, people have spent less time at home and more time pursuing wealth. He said they should invest more time in healthy leisure. But he says it's hard. Parents go to work and come back when the kids are asleep, but it's got to be done. Be available to your kids and family. That's what he says. Sundays should be a day of rest, and you should spend it with your family. He said this connects back to the 4th point. Make the intention to set aside time for loved ones despite the pressures of work. That's easier said than done, too, isn't it? Number 6, work toward empowering young people. The Pope talked about the need to find creative ways to help young people secure employment so they can feel the dignity of bringing home the bacon. Those are his exact words, end quote. Care for the environment. He said you've got to protect God's special gift of creation. And then number 8, he says move on. Pope Francis encouraged finding ways to more quickly move forward after negative experiences. Forgiveness is the key for this, as is having the willingness to let the next moment be better than the last. Again, easier said than done sometimes. We recognize that. Respect others' opinions. This ties back to the first point. We're not going to agree with everyone's beliefs or their lifestyles, but that doesn't mean they're inherently less valid. And then, of course, number 10 is actively strive for peace. He says, war destroys, and we've got to cry out for peace. Peace sometimes gives the idea of stillness, but it's not stillness. It's an active peace. And everyone's got to be committed in the matter of peace to do everything they can. What can I do from here? Peace is the language we have to speak. So those are his tips. Let everyone be themselves. Give tirelessly to others. Walk softly. Be available to your kids and family. Make Sundays a day of rest and be with your family. Work toward empowering young people, care for the environment, move on, respect others' opinions, and strive for peace. There they are, the top 10.